Hey Raiders, welcome back to another live arena battle video. This video will feature 14 fights and a lot of losses. 10 to be exact. I start off with a win and finish with a win, but in the middle there was a lot of ugly losses. So, we'll get started against Matador. And he starts off with his first pick with the Ultimate Death Knight Rotos combo. I see that a lot when I pick Sifi first. If you're countering Sifi, you counter by subtraction by picking Rotos, and you counter by addition picking Ultimate Death Knight. So, Grawl, I don't really know what she does. I end up looking at it after this fight, but I think she's pretty tough, so I'll go ahead and ban her, especially because I think they're going to ban my Nithway, and they do. And so I'm thinking Errol is going to have a hard time killing her. So we get into the battle, and they've got a double speed plus a Rotos, and Ultimate Death Knight for him to hide behind, but we'll see what happens. So Rotos did not slap Nekret that hard. Get going, try to take out the Marichka. I'd love to kill her first, and then be able to do the double hit with Errol, but so far no good. And then I use the double hit with Errol, but it does not kill Arbiter, so that could have got me out of that fight pretty quickly, but failed to do so. So she's back, Marichka. Take her out again. Arbiter has spent her revive. So now, take out Arbiter, except I can't because I forgot about Ultimate Death Knight. It's amazing how much I forget that. I just cannot remember that Ultimate Death Knight does that. And then it slaps me in the face that he does it every single time. Maybe I ought to just figure out a strat to use Ultimate Death Knight every single time. But I feel like I'm weaker with him. I have so many choices for protectors, and I feel like just protecting against the single target damagers, it just doesn't do enough. Yet when they use him, it's brilliant. So I win the first battle, and feel pretty good about that. So that puts me up at 3348 on the points. And he's about 3,500, so did pretty well. So I look at Grawl. A1 not so good, but she does have a Provoke AoE with 3 turn unkillable. She has an Ally Protect that removes block buffs, so that's pretty good. She's a good protector. When she's in her other form, okay, she also decreases buff duration on attackers. That's kind of annoying. She can team up an ally attack in her other form, and then she does a damage ignoring defense. She may be the only HP damager that ignores defense. But you got to build her for protection and for damage, so that makes it a little tough because you probably won't build in a lot of crit damage. You might. Attacks all enemies. Yeah, so she's damage, she's protection, she's hard to kill. So on to the second battle. I get Chavdar. I'll go CV first. They go Warlord and Ultimate Death Knight, both in sheep. I'll go ahead and go with Nekret because he can ally attack around Ultimate Death Knight. And today I had a really hard time picking and banning. I did a lot of searching around. I made a lot of mistakes. And had it expire once, and you'll see that coming up. I don't think it's this battle. I think it's the couple battles away. And I put in Tormin here. And he's not particularly good here because only Ultimate Death Knight buffs, and then they bring in a cleanser. I have to ban the Warlord because I'm not built to fight through it. I think I was trying to build myself to fight through the Warlord, and then I just gave up on it because Errol can't do it. So right off the bat, almost kill my Nekret, but I do have Goffred. But they're all pretty well protected with their shield and their bolster shield. And I've actually thought about this, building Ultimate Death Knight in bolster shield instead, because then he would be a better protector. He would just be less effective against Rotos. Now, if you have Rotos and you can pick him and Rotos together, then you may do pretty well. So that was my one shot at winning it, and no dice. So I'm able to almost take him out, but then they'll take out my Tormin. So 1-1 on the day so far. That was kind of a loss I wish I could have back. I feel like that one I'm probably the stronger account, but I just did not pick and ban well on that one, and that was kind of my day. Smurf. This one was a very frustrating loss, and you'll see why in a minute here. So they go Duchess first, I go Sifi and Nekret, thinking a lot of times if someone picks Duchess first, then they're going to want Nekret with her. So they go Wukong, damage Wukong along with Ultimate Death Knight. I'll go with a counter to Wukong and Warlord to put him on cooldown. I'm going to go Hoskarul here, I think. No, I decide not to go Hoskarul yet. I go with him, and then I don't click it, and it gives me Cardinal. And so I have no choice but to leave because I'm going to fail. So I was really frustrated there. I feel like I could have won that fight, but in actualizing the app reselected because I did not hit the confirm button in time, it selected Cardinal in place of a damager that I had picked. I don't even know how Cardinal got in the pick order. It's baffling to me. I need to look into that. But so the next fight, as I'm facing, what is it? Looks like kind of like Homie with the @ symbol. And so I go for cooldowns. They're probably going to ban my cooldowns. They've got a double reviver and Wukong. And realistically, like, I'm okay against their damagers with this team, but I'm a little underpowered on it. Again, I feel like I kind of lost the pick ban. And so Sifi goes first, and I want to kill the Wukong so he can't immediately strip all of our buffs. And then I need to work on Pythion. If I can get Pythion out of there, but then Wukong's going to go, he's going to steal some buffs, which is really annoying because those defensive nukers really need increased defense. But I got Pythion out of there. But the problem is now Harima's, I think, going to soft... No, Harima didn't need to. So the Staff of Wonder took out my 2 protectors, and all that's left is Torment, and then I'm done. So again, that account was not really stronger than mine, but I lost, and it's just... I feel like my brain is a little bit slow on the pick and ban today. And in reality, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I just have not been fighting that much for the last week or so. I think regardless of how bad you're doing because you're overmatched, you might consider fighting still 5 fights a day. So I get Suntaf. I go Sifi first. They go Speed with Warlord. And I needed to turn up the brightness on my phone because I was going out and checking in the mail and then I couldn't see the screen. So we'll see who they go with next. And it's Mighty Ukko and Ragash. See if this is the one. Yeah, this is the one where I finally pick Hoskarul against Mighty Ukko. And really good results. So this one I'm planning on banning the Warlord. Eric's is their second damager. Can be pretty annoying. So we'll get into the battle. I'm 1-3 so far today. And with that really annoying Cardinal pick, I feel like I could have won that one, but who knows? I might have lost it anyway. Couple stuns in there. The problem that I have with Hoskarul, so he's immune to stun, and I'll show that later. And he can cleanse all stuns, but I have him slower than my Wukong. And I believe I have him slower than my Nekret. So Wukong really just did well without a buff, taking out 3 of them with his Staff of Wonder, and then I finish him off. So that was actually a pretty quick and easy fight. Hoskarul didn't do much, but he wasn't stunned. I'll say picking up Hoskarul was my good luck charm for that fight. But I did build him with the intention of countering Mighty Ukko. So I was going to stop here at 2 and 3 on the day. Here's my Hoskarul build. He's at 4,500 defense, 219 speed, 250 crit damage, and he is in Savage. What's the big deal about Hoskarul? Well, he's an epic that was a fragment summon a couple years ago, last year maybe. So he's immune to stun, which is nice. He can cleanse, stun, and then put up increased defense, which isn't so good, the increased defense against Ukko. And then he stuns on his A2 and his A1. He's not 100% on the A2, but he's actually pretty good at it. So then I'm going to face Moon Predator. At least with Harima this time, I've seen them picking her first, so I at least don't have the temptation to pick Inithwe early, which would be a bad idea anyway. So they've got Harima Duchess and Ultimate Death Knight. I used to be really confident about this pair, actually, and, well, we'll see what happens here. But 3,500 ranking points, so he's a bit above me. He's been in here a little bit longer, having more success. And then Rhodos and Pythion. So they got the double reviver. And I have to go with a damager. I'm going to go Errol. I almost let that one time out again without hitting confirm. They'll ban the Errol, and so now Ragash has to kill the Rhodos. And that was the right choice. Ragash is really bad against Rhodos. Really bad. He's so bad against Rhodos. I got a lucky kill there, and I'm hoping I can make it back around and continuously put Pythion on cooldown. I think he has a 4-turn cooldown, and I'm a 5-turn on the skill cooldown. And as you'll see here in a minute, I don't make it. And so the lucky kill I got on Rhodos is wasted because I can't keep Pythion on cooldown. I put him on cooldown again, but it doesn't matter. Trying to kill that Rhodos, but can't get a crit hit there. Yeah, Ragash is like, he's so helpless against Rhodos. And Ultimate Death Knight is so good against Sifi. I really do need to figure out how to organize my teams to be able to pick him when they pick Sifi first. Like, I think the natural counter is like Duchess, Ultimate Death Knight. So Sifi's dead. I got one last chance to try and work on this thing. Harima's gone again, and Rhodos is stunned. Pythion's low. And if I could have just finished him off right there, I would have had a shot, because then I could have been going for Rhodos that time, and I could have had the lucky kill. But instead, doesn't work out that way. They're going to heal back up, and they're going to take me out. So I go ahead and leave. Pretty rough day so far. That said, on the Sifi, I still feel like Sifi is the right choice for the first pick. So this one's a level 93 midway through, or closing in on midway through, not midway through yet. So they'll pick Rhodos first. Again, I feel like if you pick Rhodos first, that's a fairly easy team to counter, but turns out not to be for me, as I pick Sifi and Ultimate Death Knight. That's the one situation where I do say, okay, I want Ultimate Death Knight. So he goes Wukong and Elva. Elva's annoying, Wukong's annoying. Looks like the damage awakening, well, the damage hybrid awakening, because it helps with the debuffs on your A1, and it does give you attack. And then he goes Emic and Nekret. And once again, I think my pick and ban was just really bad here. But I had to pick a damager, and I banned the Emic, and I really needed a Kymar in there, and I really needed to ban the Nekret so that he didn't have Nekret protection on his Rhodos or Wukong. But in any case, I banned the Emic because I didn't want them to go unkillable, and I think both Emic and Helikath pair really well with Wukong, because Wukong counters them so well. And here they knock out my nukers very quickly because I only have Ultimate Death Knight protecting. I don't have either Goffred or Nekret. I mean, I kind of consider Ultimate Death Knight like a third string protector because I just have not put in the time to use him right. In Classic Arena, I only use him as a Rhodos counter. And he's an okay Wukong counter, but if Wukong's able to do the AoE and take out your team, then you're working from behind like I am here. So I've had them knocked out twice, And I have a really strong Duchess compared to his team. I have a really strong Ultimate Death Knight compared to his team. But if I don't have my damagers at all, and they're just running circles around me, taking out my damagers, then there's not a lot I can do there. So I get another loss, and I'll move on to the next one. I believe that puts me at 2-5 on the day. And I'll get high-tech, someone with the Xena avatar. So a little bit ahead of me in the Xena chase. I go first, and I'll go Sifi, they'll go Duchess, and Taurus. So Taurus has his power up. I think with Taurus, whether you get Duchess or Sifi, it's not irrelevant. Like, Sifi is the preferred, but Duchess does just as well for him. Then they go Speed and Goffred, and where's the cooldowns? So I should not have gone cooldowns there, so that I could have banned either the Taurus or the... And I said Goffred again. I always say Goffred instead of Georgid, but it would have been better if I could have worked through the... say the Georgid, banned the Taurus, and had Goffred in there instead of Warlord. But so be it. So Sifi survives because she had Stone Skin. Necret survives because he's a little tanky, but then they'll take us out. So it's at 2-6 on the day. And then this is Fair Horse. And I went to look and see what did he have because I just fought him. So I looked at on a different device. I looked at my YouTube fight for that and saw what he had. And I had beaten him, but at this point, like, we were in a different pick order. I had picked Warlord the first time. He picks Warlord very quickly against me to make sure I don't get him. And he's got Warlord Kymar. So far, I'm not extremely intimidated because only Warlord benefits the Taurus, but then he goes Lady Kimmy. And I had seen that. He had the +4 Lady Kimmy before, and I had banned her. So I have to ban the Warlord this time. And I think the reason for his +4 Lady Kimmy is because he can consistently pick Lady Kimmy and not have to worry about getting blocked out on her. So he has this +4 that's probably very fast, and he doesn't have to worry about somebody else picking her because it's not going to happen very often. It only really happens in bomb teams, and there just aren't a lot of bomb teams in Gold 2. Gold 1 has a lot of bomb teams, but Gold 2 does not. So I believe that puts me at 2-7 on the day with that loss. That was a quick loss. And I get Wood. He'll pick Sifi first. I go Warlord and Duchess. I like picking Warlord because he's a good choice for them to be the ban target. And then sometimes if they don't ban him, and I can fight through it. But in Gold 2, the difference is he's not as effective, especially when they go Speed, if they ban, say, the Duchess in this situation. So that's why I went 2 Revivers here. I went 2 Revivers trying to get them to not ban the Duchess. They do ban the Warlord, as you'll see. But my double Reviver setup doesn't work that well in this one. And I ban the Nishak, and I don't really know what was going on in my head there because the Nishak should not have been able to put bombs on the Duchess. And maybe not even on the Ragash. So maybe if I had banned either... Well, I would have had to ban the Taurus because Wukong wouldn't have been an option. Let's look at all those buffs Taurus is going to have. He's going to just... Once he finally goes right here, he decides to use his single target and take out Pythion because he knows Duchess already has used her revive. So I'm going to go ahead and leave because I know with Sifi I'm not even going to get a chance. So that drops me to 2-8 on the day. And I get MD Wolf for the next fight. You don't see a lot of people staying with the Saoirse avatar anymore because it was kind of symbol of how much money you had spent on Plarium play. And so you were kind of telling the opponent, I spend money. And then when they gave away the 4,000 Plarium play points, everyone was able to get it. And so it's just a watered down avatar now. So they've got Wukong, Mighty Ukko, Pythion. I'm going to ban the Wukong, leave them the triple reviver, and I've got Hoskarul in here. The inner debate was whether or not I was going to go with the defense aura or the attack aura, but actually the defense aura I think is only good for dungeons on the Hoskarul, so it would have been a mistake to pick him. So there's no stuns, so I'm not going to buff his defense. And Mighty Ukko, I believe, was actually in Stone Skin here, which you normally can bet on him being in stun. So I have all their revivers low. I'm doing pretty well, but if I can't finish them off, they're going to get the revives in because I don't have cooldowns. So I tried to do his AoE, but he didn't have increased defense up. And the Stultus isn't hitting me particularly hard. So I think banning the Wukong was the way to go. Wukong can be a disaster when you let him go and he's in a damage build. Of course, the other build too, the support build for Wukong, is disastrous as well. But so looks like I'm going to take this one, bring back the Errol. I'm able to take out the Pythion, and now all I got to do is just work through the Stultus, and I should have this one. And I do. So 3 and 8 on the day. Hoskarul, that wasn't a great showcase of Hoskarul versus Ukko because it looked like Ukko had Stone Skin instead of Stun Set. So on to the next battle. They'll take Sifi first. Looks like she's missing 1 level of Awakening. And then they'll go Duchess, Harima, because I went Warlord. And Nekret, I'll go Wukong. Wukong's a good counter to all of those. And then Helikath. And my Helikath is built in Stone Skin, relatively fast to get in and put up his block damage. I'll go Inithway, but Helikath also has, I think, 97% crit rate. I'm going to ban their Sifi because I don't want Rotos going off. And so they ban my Warlord, and I got a pretty decent team in here. I feel pretty good about this team. I just have to be able to get around the multiple reviver. And I have to survive the initial Rotos onslaught. So he did not kill Nekret. I've had so many close calls with Rotos and Nekret lately. It's kind of comical. So in this one, I know it's weird to pick Inithway and Harima in the same team, or in opposing each other, but Inithway was there for Rotos, and there I block revive on Rotos. And I've been able to take out Harima once, and if I can get her low, Inithway can still block revive her, even though he may not crit. That was the thinking here, is I have beaten a Harima team with Inithway opposing her. So the only sheep is Duchess, and she is now sheep 2, and then Inithway's gone, so that's going to make it tough. I need to come back around and get block damage up, and I can't before Nekret's dead. I may get Wukong back, but this one's pretty much lost. I had pretty good momentum in this fight, and then just lost it. So, yeah, I'll just keep fighting, but even their support champions are doing too much damage against my Wukong. So again, losing another close one. I felt like that was a pretty good matchup. And I finished off the Rotos. That went well for me. Rotos didn't go off and take anybody out, but I couldn't finish off the Harima. So what just happened there was pretty frustrating, as I picked wood again, or I pulled wood again as my opponent, and then I went to look at the screenshot of the team he had used, and it killed my app, and I had to go back in, and I got an auto loss. So that was frustrating. I think that puts me at, 2 and 10 or something on the day. Rough day so far. I should have quit at 2 and 3. Again, I'm not really facing the Taurus Marichka teams like that. I'm not getting destroyed by those. What's killing me is my pick and ban. I think I'm picking champions that I think are good, and for whatever reason, they're just picking and banning better than me. So this one has Duchess, UDK, Rotos, and Wukong. And this is Seifert. So probably ban, I'll ban the Wukong here. They'll ban the Warlord. And I'm going to try and get in there and take out Rhodos with my Nithway. So they're at just to see what's the turn meter on Duchess. So she does get that up. And I still feel pretty good. Rhodos is not going to go for Arrow because of the chance for weak hit. And again, another close call on Necrit, but doesn't kill him. So I have to wait 2 turns for buffs to wear off. I'm going to go ahead and do the A3 with Nithway trying to push Rhodos to his next turn, but I didn't do enough damage. I don't want to waste the A2, the AoE on Errol yet. But it looks like I'm gonna lose my Necret and have to revive him. But yep, there he goes. So rather than reviving him, I speed up because the buffs are starting to expire, and I was able to block revive the Rhodos, and he left the battle. So that one, boy, a lot of losses today. So my counting was a bit off, and I think I was 4 and 10 on the day. Bright side, Hoskarul did okay against Mighty Ukko. Wasn't a great showcase, but did pretty well. In any case, hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.